Early access to the Sims 4 Jungle Adventure game pack was provided by Electronic Arts.
Hey guys, Dan here today with a new video for you looking at the gameplay found in the Sims 4 Jungle Adventure game pack. So this video isn't how I intended this video to be. I actually spent 40 minutes recording lots of gameplay for you, and it turns out my OBS software keeps causing problems, and you would have seen it in some videos where it goes a little bit jumpy for a while. But this has done it for a good 20 minutes of that video, and I don't think it would have been fair on you for me to upload that to YouTube. So I'm instead going to just talk to you about the gameplay and share my thoughts about Jungle Adventure. And throughout this, I'm going to put a few videos as well from what I can salvage, basically, and we'll go from there. So, with that in mind, let's dig in a little bit. So gameplay, I've already focused on Create a Sim, buy and build, and also the world, so I'm not going to go too much into that. Gameplay, we're going to be talking about the archaeology skill, culture, and as well the actual temple aspect of it as well. So thinking about how this works, it is very comparable to the Sims 3 World Adventures in the sense that it is a very questy game pack. It is where it expects, there's no like vacation element to it. It is very much, you're in this world, you're going to make your way through. And it's really clever how it does it. So if you've ever played The Sims Medieval, it's very similar mechanics to that in the sense that it will encourage you to go to particular locations. So you'll cut down areas using certain tools and be able to go through there. And before you get to the next place, it will give you like a story element. And with that, you kind of usually get the option to either ignore it. You may get the option to engage with it, so it may be where there's like a bag and you can look in it, or there's a sloth in a tree, whatever it may be, but you don't actually see what's happening. And then as well, there's also normally an option which utilises your skill. So it really encourages you to have things like the gardening skill, mechanical skill, logic, and so many other ones as well, where you will be better off with these scenarios and more likely to do well in them if you've got that. So that's really cool. And if it goes well, then you may get a reward. If it doesn't go well, your sim may get poisoned or something like that. So that's when you need to be prepared. So you can go to the local market in the game, and in there you can get all the supplies that you need. So you can get things that repels insects, you can get antidotes, and you can get tools to cut through things. So really make sure your sims are prepared. And if you are taking sims that you've got a big legacy with, save before you go, because they can die. In the gameplay video I was going to share with you, my sim burnt to death in the temple towards the end, and my other one was on the verge of dying from poison. So make sure they're prepared. It's a really cool gameplay element, so it doesn't make it so you can just waltz into the jungle, but then at the same time it may not be too great as well, because it doesn't really give you much warning that that's going to happen. So as you're exploring around, you can see all the really luscious views of the jungle, and it encourages you to keep exploring. There's like an old bath that you can go and explore. There is what else is there? There's other locations where you can discover treasure and dig things, which ties into the archaeology skill. That is new, and as you do that more and excavate things, your skill gets higher. And then you can either buy the workbench and start looking at them and verify what they are as your skill increases, and start collecting these, which is really cool. And the more you skill up, the more areas you can dig and the more you can see. So that encourages you to kind of come back in the future and to really work on that, which is really cool, that there's that element there to encourage you to come back later on, and it's not just like a one-trip thing and you're done. Speaking of that, the big thing of when you're exploring is you eventually get to the temple, and with that temple, it randomizes apparently every single time you go there. So there's probably a few set configurations, but this is kind of where it basically is the Sims 3 World Adventures. It's very similar mechanics. You have to solve puzzles, that unlocks the next room, and it lets you go through. When I was exploring around, a skeleton was walking around who you could chat to and see what he was up to. That was a bit interesting. I wasn't quite expecting that to happen. But that happened. It's really cool. And for me, I don't like that gameplay element anywhere in The Sims. I don't think it has a place in the main Sims franchise. Just because Sims to me is all about being able to do what you want when you want, and having those quest elements in there isn't something I like. I do appreciate, however, that they are good in the sense of the way they're implemented, and that there are fans who will really enjoy that aspect of it. I'm just not one of those fans, which makes it very difficult for me to be able to enjoy that element, because while I like seeing all the work that's gone into it, excavating things, solving the puzzles, honestly really frustrates me. It isn't something I want to do when I'm playing The Sims, and because of that, I'm not personally a fan of it. But like I said, that's just personally. It isn't where it's been badly implemented or it's bad gameplay mechanics. I just struggle to see where it fits in the scope of The Sims. Maybe an unpopular opinion, because I know loads of people love world adventures and that style of gameplay. I personally didn't, I'm afraid. I prefer more open-ended things. But going through all of that, you can discover treasures, you can discover mystic relics and all these other things which you can then either be blessed with or cursed. And like I said, it encourages you to come back on another vacation to kind of see if this temple has changed throughout that as well. So that is really cool. It was enjoyable and definitely took up a lot of time. It isn't easy to do because your Sims have to go back. It's definitely vacation there for several days to be able to really explore around. And some areas as well, you actually have to come back later on, and it may open up on your next visit. So it does have a lot of things there. So it isn't just like a one-time thing, and then you never need to go to that world again. It does try to encourage you to do that. Another skill in addition to archaeology is the culture one, and basically the more that you talk with locals, eat food, try things, that will benefit you as you're going through the temple, but as well it will also unlock other things as well. So for example, it will help you be able to eat the food a bit better, because it can be a bit overpowering at first, and it also unlocks a particular dance which you can see the skeleton doing in the latest Jungle Adventure trailer, and it is great. So there are so many elements to this game pack that they've added in, particularly around exploration of this new world. And it, like I said, it just really reminds me of World Adventures and a little bit of Castaway Stories on the PC as well, because of the environment it's set in and the way it's laid out. So I think the Sims team have done a really good job at implementing that. It's smooth. The world, honestly, is lush. It is so nice. Like, you're going to be blown away when you see it. It's just ridiculous. I still can't get over it myself. But like I said, for me personally, I really struggle connecting with it. While I love the Create a Sim content, while I love the build buy content, and while I do love the world, the gameplay part isn't something that I can easily get on board with. I would have much rathered a jungle holiday pack, a bit like Outdoor Retreat was. More of holidaying was the focus, but you could argue we've already had that, so it's good to see something different. And like I said, it is just personal preference. Overall, it has been very well implemented. It's a very deep pack with a lot of things for you to look into, lots of things to collect, lots of things to explore, and as well, it is definitely something, like I said, that you need to be prepared for, because there will be bees that get you, spiders that get you, bats, poisonous darts, fire. You just really need to make sure your Sims are equipped for it, so try to make sure they bring somebody with them, so if they go on fire they can get extinguished. But then as well, you really need to make sure you have the right supplies and the right skills, because you will struggle else. So for someone like me, I find that a bit frustrating, just because as it's a Sims game, I like to be able to just go and explore and do that. But for those who like a challenge, I think you will really enjoy that part of it. It is very well put in and kind of adds in a very, like, almost like a realistic element to it. Obviously, in real life, you're not just going to walk into the jungle and survive. Your Sims aren't going to do that either. They need to be prepared, and you make sure you do that. So really look into it and read the lessons in the game to really understand how that works. But overall, Sims 4 Jungle Adventure, my overall thoughts, based on all the videos I've released, check them out if you haven't already. But I think it is a solid game pack offering. The world is lush, the objects are amazing, Create a Sim is really good. It's just whether or not you are interested in the more questy, more where you've got to look around gameplay and solving puzzles in the tomb, or whether you are more of an open-ended player. If you didn't like World Adventures, I would say maybe wait until it's on sale, because I don't think you will be won over by this pack. But if you did like World Adventures, get it right now. You're going to love this game pack. Like I said, I love everything apart from the exploration of the tomb. It just isn't my sort of gameplay. But many of you will, and because of that, I think the Sims team have done a very good job of implementing it. It's buttery smooth, and it's just very well thought out, and it's really cool to see how in-depth they're going with these game packs now, and it seems to be the route they're going instead of doing regular expansion packs, which is nice to see. More smaller offerings to fit more niche needs, perhaps. So hopefully you've really enjoyed this look at The Sims 4 Jungle Adventure and the style that I've done it in this time. Normally I'd do a written review, but I thought I would piece together different videos for you to be able to have a really good look at everything you get in this pack. Let me know what you think in the comments of what you've seen. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And when you get the game, definitely share what you're doing in there, because I always love to hear what your thoughts are and what you're up to. So with that in mind, be sure to visit BeyondSims.com for more exclusive content like this, reviews and the latest news for The Sims 4, The Sims Mobile and The Sims Freeplay. And as well, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already to this channel. Lots of good stuff on the way for you, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you as we continue into 2018. So thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon.